Hello, today we are going to talk about how you can make a functional homemade document camera. Now, I say functional because some of the ones you may have seen or the instructions you may have seen online tend to leave a little bit to be desired. For instance, you've seen something like this where people are trying to repurpose perhaps something like this and put an iPad over it, or someone has built this out of PVC pipe. How handy of them. Perhaps you've even seen suggestions on how you can use cans of beans to make a document camera, or, quite disturbingly, a cuties box. The problem is none of these are particularly functional. They're not flexible, you can't adjust the height, and it is very difficult to do something like write underneath a cuties box and or read a book. So today we're going to discuss some options of how you can do this and actually make it easy and look good. Now, the first thing you're going to need is you are going to need a smartphone or a tablet. If you have a smartphone, that is what I recommend, and I'll talk about why in a minute, because they're lighter and so much easier to use. A tablet will work, but because they're larger and a little heavier, it makes things a little trickier. Now, let's talk about some of the options. In researching this, I looked at several different options, most of which had more cons than pros. I've listed them all in this slideshow if you would like to go through and check them out. But the one I found that worked the best is this. It's $18, and there is an iPad version that'll hold an iPad or a tablet that you can click on the link for it right here. The thing I liked about this was, one, the clamp worked a little better for the table I had. It has a flat clamp that holds onto the table. Also, the arm is significantly longer, so you can actually hold it up higher or lower, and it's easy to move it up and down. It also holds the phone or tablet nicely. I would highly recommend you look at whatever table or surface you're working on, try and figure out what clamp is going to work best for it, and then what kind of holder on the end will work. There are all kinds of these on Amazon. Almost all of them are under $20. But looking for something that's going to hold on to the side of your table with some sort of flexibility to hold your phone over the table is really going to work out for you in the long run. Now, let's talk about 5 easy steps to making your very own document camera. 1, you need to take your phone or tablet and download the Google Meet app. For most of these, it will not work well if you're just trying to do it in your web browser. Go ahead and download the app, and then log in with your AACPS credentials. Next, you're going to set up your phone or tablet on your desk. This is my desk. What a lovely, messy little space. I just clipped it on the side, and then as you can see, the arm goes up and over with a phone up here. So once I remove, this is a downward view right here, once I removed my keyboard, I had plenty of space to put my book or some kind of writing tablet to write on, and it took a great view. If you'll notice, this whole space underneath is open, so it's easy to turn pages, it's easy to write, and it's also easy to adjust this arm up or down depending on how high I need it away or how much I want it to focus on the book. The next thing you're going to want to do is actually go to the tablet or phone you have, go to that Meet app, and log in with the same Google Classroom Meet code that you're using to have your regular meets with students. So you're going to want to open up that Google Meet first, and then you're going to want to log into it with your phone or tablet. It's very simple. You click Join a Meeting on your phone, you type in the meeting code, and you're in, basically as a second person within your Meet. Now, there are 3 ways to get this code. The first is from the banner on your Google Classroom. Here's your Meet link, and right at the end, it has sort of a handful of digits and letters. That's one place. That same code is right here when you're about to click to join your Meet. And if you're in your Meet, it's right there in the bottom left corner as well. Now, before you log in with your phone, you actually want to go ahead and mute your computer and mute the microphone on your Google Meet. You want to do this because the way Google Meet works is it finds whoever's talking and it projects that person's video to the screen. This means that if your computer is muted, 1, you won't be having any feedback between the devices, but 2, because your phone or tablet is unmuted, that is what will be picking up your voice, and that is the picture that will be presented on everyone's Google Meet screen. Finally, for most of you, you're going to need to find this little button on your phone or your tablet and turn the camera around so that it's shooting out the back of your phone. And you are ready to rock and roll, because there's nothing more rock and roll than teachers with a homemade document camera. So let's check it out and see what it would look like.
Here you can see I've got a book, and it's really easy to present it to my students. I can open the book up. They can see both pages. Now, I can hold it so both pages are visible. Now, as you can tell, the image isn't great. It's far enough away that the quality of the words is hard to tell. Partly, this is because I have an iPhone 5. You may have something that was made this decade. But you can also very easily adjust the camera if you want to focus on the words. In addition to reading books, it's also great for using with a whiteboard. It's like a Jamboard, but in real life. All right, guys, today we're going to talk about writing things. Let's start off with this prompt. What would you do? You can also use a whiteboard for things like math problems. And then you could solve if you knew how to do math problems. This gives you the ability to work with your students in real time in ways that sometimes can be difficult to do digitally. It's the way to take that hands-on approach that you're so used to in the classroom with a blackboard, a smartboard, a whiteboard, and actually use it digitally with a document camera from home.
Now, let's talk about a few tips. 1, have your phone ready. Go ahead and put that code into the Meet app, but wait to click the join button until you're ready for it to pop up. That way you don't have to worry about feedback and you can still talk back and forth with your students without having to mute the computer. Also, before you turn your phone camera on, make sure that your computer is muted first. That way you won't have feedback between the phone and the computer. 3rd, if you're going to be doing this all day long, or if you just want to have this thing there constantly, which is not a bad idea, go ahead and plug your phone in. That way you don't have to worry about running out of battery in the middle of your class. Another tip is you want to tip your phone so that it projects horizontal instead of vertical. Usually if you just tip your phone, it will automatically switch from the vertical view to the horizontal, which gives you a nice view of the area below. Finally, have your students switch to the Spotlight view on Google Meet. When they're in Spotlight, whoever is speaking, you, their video camera fills up the entire screen. So if the students are in Spotlight mode, they will see what you are presenting through your document camera. Also, if you're ever recording something and want to use your document camera, you can use this Spotlight view so that it fills up the entire screen. And good luck, everyone. Let's go out and make some magic.